There are many snacks out there that have stood the test of time in the fridge and the flavor tests of combat, but only one brand of chips stands above the rest due to its incredible maneuverability and powerful armament. That's right, Scrubs, I'm talking about the Dorito 2000. The Dassault Mirage 2000 is a family of advanced 4th-generation fighters based on previous principles of the Dassault Doritos and available in a plethora of variants, including nacho cheese, Cool Ranch, and barbecue sauce. The Mirage 2000 cements itself as one of, if not the most versatile fighter at the top ranks of War Thunder, combining incredible maneuverability, missiles, and avionics into a French invention so deadly that you can call it a guillotine. So whether you are a fat ass who likes your Doritos with a side of Mountain Dew, or just a new player looking to fly the shiny new plane you just researched, then get ready, because now I'm going to show you how to pilot the strongest submarine in Greece.
It's a good day for fly away, and ever since this time, never sit backwards and give up. I can stop if I do turn on my overdrive. Everything fades away. Then you can turn on the radio and listen off to fly. I'm feeling high through the whole time. I think that I can get more. Open your eyes now, you can see the colors of the
Once upon a time, in a land far away known as Hell, France and Britain wanted to work together to create a next-generation fighter interdictor in the 60s. This new aircraft would be the end-all to aviation design, thanks to its highly adaptable airframe, allowing it to fulfill practically every role. However, only 2 years into the design program, the Brits and the Frenchoids realized how much they hate each other, and the French pulled out of the design before Britain could kick them out, just to spite them even more. Britain would then go on to instead work with Germany and Italy on this new super aircraft, which, instead of a super cool, multi-purpose, high-tech, advanced, and highly capable plane, turned out to be the Panavia Tornado instead. Man, if I had $1 for every over-engineered, swing-winged, adaptable, twin-seater plane that was going to fulfill all roles but instead failed miserably at every single one of them but still entered service due to sunk cost fallacy, I would have $2. Which isn't a lot, but it's absolutely funny that it happened twice. Especially when you realize that Britain was involved with both of them. You would think they had learned after the first time. But anyways, back to France. Now that they're out of the Bong Fighter program, and the Mirage F1 fleet was starting to show its age, and the Mirage 3 practically operating from the hospice on life support, it was clear that France needed something new. Using the technology acquired from the AFVG program they just left, France decided to make their own all-in-one twin-seater swing-wing fighter aircraft, the Mirage G. And, just like the other swing-wing twin-seat aircraft of its time, it met the same fate. It was fat, ugly, over-engineered, flew like a brick, and worst of all, it was French. But on the back burner, Dassault knew that the Delta Dorito was the right answer still. The Delta Wing formula was seen as the perfection of aircraft designs, and plans for a new, advanced Delta Wing Mirage were quickly thrown around. You see, ever since the cooperation with Britain on the Swing Bong battle bus started to fall apart, Dassault started tinkering with what could potentially be the future of French military aviation in the background, using their own funding. This all started with a Mirage 3, called the Mirage 3 Next Generation, or NG program, a very late-life development of the Mirage 3 that upgrades it to modern standards for the time. However, problems with the Mirage 3 started showing up worse than ever now, with the underpowered airframe and small size severely limiting the plane and what it can carry. So, the Mirage 3 NG was scrapped, and a new design was started based on the principles of the Mirage 3 NG. To power the new design, current engines were obviously not enough, and Dassault reached out to their friend, I am not reading this shit.
Société Nationale d'Études et de Construction de Moteurs d'Aviation.
Or SNECMA, for short, to build a new engine. The resulting project was one of the most complex jet engines in aviation history up until that point, the SNECMA M53. Fun fact, The M53 had a unique manufacturing process for its compressor blades, which resulted in the engine having a very distinguishable howl when it ran. Sadly, just like the two other engines with a famous howling sound, Gaijin completely fucked up the sounds for this, and instead it sounds like a clogged vacuum cleaner. For the car guys, a simpler analogy would be that the Snecma M53 was the 1LR engine of the plain world. But sadly, we can't have nice things, and Gaijin fucked up its sounds. Gaijin can go Snecma balls. Anyways, this new fighter, while designed on the basis of the Mirage 3, would receive a new name, and what's more original for your high-tech piece of technology than to just stick the number 2000 at the end? I mean, come on, no one has done that before on their fighter jet before. You know, except for the Kronos 2000, and the Super Phantom 2000, and the Eurofighter 2000 before it was renamed into the Typhoon, and the FTC 2000. Okay, you get the point now. Anyways, this new plane quickly entered service in two different models. The A model was a prototype, so the production models were the Mirage 2000B, a twin-seat trainer, and the 2000C, with C standing for Chasseur, which means hunter. Simply the designation the French used for the fighter back then. Anyways, let's talk about that variant in-game now.
Hello guys, it's your boy Donut here, and today we're learning how to fly the Mirage 2000 in 5 easy steps. Step 1, turn on auxiliary power. Step 2, start the electrical system. Step 3, flick that subscribe button into the on position. Step 4, smash that bell icon and slave it to the notifications radar. Step 5, pull that...
You already did that joke before, dude.
Where'd you come from? Yeah, I know.
I was expecting more originality from you, dude. Like, come on.
Look man, there is only so many jokes that I can repeat when doing...
No, you spasticated Mongo.
Look,
You're slowly
it's a remake of a video. That's the whole point of a remake.
TikTokers and Billy Shooters. I swear to God, dude. I subscribe to you and I...
Now that we're back in the right game, the Mirage 2000C is one of the earlier models of the Mirage 2000 and comes in two models in-game as of this video, the Mirage 2000C S4 and the CS5. They are both at the same BR and almost identical. The only difference is that the CS5 is in the tech tree where everyone can get it, while the CS4 is a long-gone event vehicle, so the only way to obtain it today is through the Gaijin marketplace. So if you're on console, tough luck. The Tech Tree CS5 is better on paper anyways, due to having more countermeasures and a missile approach warning system, which are the only two differences that differentiate it from the event CS4. Other than that, these two planes are practically the same, at least gameplay-wise, so don't feel bad for missing out on the event one. The Mirage 2000 playstyle, very surprisingly, even with the major differences between the models, always comes down to the same aspects of gameplay. Go fast. Use your incredible missiles to punish anything that gets close to you. Once you run out of missiles, use your insane flight performance to shit on anything in the one circle. The Mirage 2000 is one of the most maneuverable airframes in the top tiers of War Thunder, easily being able to keep up with the F-16 and the Gripen initially. Although, be careful because the F-16 isn't a delta wing, so it doesn't bleed speed as much as you do in extended turn fights. But besides that, you have access to the DEFA 5.54 30mm revolver cannons, which, depending on how lucky you are, either one-shots anything it hits in the most spectacular explosions known to man, or it sparks like the 2016 Hispano. There's no in-between, it's just those two modes. But let's be real here. Who the fuck cares about the cannons when you get these missiles? The Matra R550 Magic II is a 50G all-aspect IRCCM obliterator at this VR. Gameplay-wise, it's basically an R73 but without the problem of spinning out half the time, because the Magic II does not use thrust vectoring. Oh, it's also at a much lower BR than the fighters with R73 while being indirectly better, which is funny in itself. And before I get any retards claiming that the stat card does not say 50 Gs, I'd like to make the friendly reminder that the stat cards are wrong at least half the time, because they only show a single value in a predetermined set of conditions, which are usually not met in an actual match. It's like assuming the Python 3 is a 40G missile at all times because the stat card said so, while in reality it's only a 40G missile after it picks up all its speed, meaning that during the early phases after launch, it's only pulling about 20 to 30 Gs max. Also keep in mind, G-pull of a missile does not equal how well it turns. G-pull just means how many Gs, or times the force of gravity, the missile can pull relative to its speed. Of course, this force of gravity is relative to the weight of the missile as well, so a very heavy missile, like the R40, which is not in-game, for example, could be pulling 25 Gs, but in reality, it would be turning about as well as the smaller R23. That's a 12G missile, by the way. Anyways, the basic missile kinematic science is now out of the way, so we can explain that despite saying 35 Gs on the Magic II stat cards, it's quite a lot lighter than the other high G missiles at its BR, such as the R73. meaning that despite having the quote-unquote lower G-pull, it turns just as well under aerodynamic control. Of course, that's not bringing up the fact that it also has 50 G2 plane pull, but that's besides the point. Now for the kicker. Due to the lack of thrust vectoring like the R73, not only does the magic not spin out randomly, like we said earlier, but it also doesn't do the missile shaker, meaning it doesn't wiggle away all its energy away and fall out of the sky at half of its stated range. The Magic 2 will actually go quite far because it bleeds less energy than, say, the R73, simply because it doesn't wiggle all its energy away. And now for the other real goodie, the Matra Super 530D. At first glance you could look at this and go, D comes before F, so this has to be worse than the Super 530F on the previous Mirage F1, and that missile was straight ass, so this one is probably just going to be straight up unusable. And boy, could you not be any more wrong. The 530D, despite having a stupid naming scheme that implies that it's somehow worse, actually fixes the one problem that makes the 530F a piece of shit. Remember that old pulse wave seeker that got easily fooled by chaff? Well, yeah, that just got replaced with a modern inverse monopulse constant wave seeker, similar to that on the AIM-120 or R27ER. Speaking of the R27ER, Reddit loves to cope that the stat card on that missile says it goes faster than Mach 5. Well, wait until Reddit shits their pants at the Super 530D's stat card, which also says that. Must have been Russian bias or something. Anyways, the Mirage 2000C in-game is easily one of the most fun planes at 12.3 in my opinion, due to their very aggressive playstyle allowing players to go on the offensive at all times, while also not lacking in the defensive department. With a very generous amount of countermeasures, great avionics, and even a MAW system on top of that for the tech tree model, these Mirages can also be forgiving if you find yourself in a pinch. All in all, these are some of the most fun jets at the top tiers of War Thunder in my opinion. And if you like what you're hearing so far, oh boy, you better get ready, because it's only gonna get better from here.
Ouais, Pierre, le Mirage a besoin d'une putain de mise à jour Windows.
Oh, ouais, t'inquiète pas Esteban, t'as juste à appuyer sur mettre à jour ultérieurement, qu'est-ce qui peut arriver de pire de toute façon.
Tower to base 1. Please update your Windows before takeoff.
Bravo, please update our Windows.
Yeah, I'm already on it.
Alright.
The Mirage 2000D is a twin-seat attack aircraft-oriented variant of the Mirage 2000 based on the early Mirage 2000N nuclear bomber variant. The 2000D loses its ability to carry radar missiles and any form of built-in guns, instead getting the ability to carry the Catfish gun pod and various kinds of laser-guided bombs and missiles, along with a thermal targeting pod for them, and all sorts of anti-tank trollery. On top of that, it has access to an extended variant of the Eclair and Spiral countermeasure dispenser systems, which give it the largest amount of countermeasures on any Mirage 2000. A total of 254 countermeasures to be specific, divided into 3 groups: 88 large caliber countermeasures, 54 small caliber countermeasures, all in the Eclair dispenser, and 112 chaff-only countermeasures in the Spiral dispenser. By the way, I'm not making this shit up, they literally named the flare dispenser after a fucking snack. Anyways, this, coupled with the missile approach warning system, makes this thing like the Maginot Line of defensive flying. In-game, the Mirage 2000D R1 is the French ground attacker Mirage variant, sitting at 12.3 as well, like the aforementioned Mirage 2000C fighter model. A while ago, this thing used to be a war crime so powerful it turned the Geneva Convention into a Geneva checklist, back when it was almost a full BR lower than the 2000C. But since Gaijin's quote-unquote decompression at top tier, this thing now sits at the same BR as the fighter Mirages while being directly worse at air-to-air for some reason. It's a good plane, I won't dog on it or lie to you and tell you that it's bad, but for the average Joe, just go fly the Mirage 2000C at the same BR instead. The Mirage 2000D, however, does shine as one of the most meta cast planes at this BR range, and more so in ground battles, where it's a full fucking BR lower for some reason, being able to completely shit and piss on practically anything it faces. Call me the now defunct French Renault Formula 1 team how I be crashing my French vehicle into other people to give myself the win. The Mirage 2000D isn't exactly good for Air RB anymore, but I still find myself drawn to this thing every few weeks just to go trolling people. Whether it's boloing their asses, nuking them on the runway with laser-guided missiles, or just punishing poor wallet warrior monkeys with the Magic 2s when they least expect it, there is always something hilarious about the 2000D. My favorite part about the Mirage 2000D is that it's a twin-seater, meaning that there's always a second seat in the back for the cute, quirky tomboy Wizzo. In fact, the voices in my head while playing this thing sound a lot like what you're about to hear in the following clip. My favorite part about this plane is running the usual air-to-air loadout of 2 Magics and 1 gun pod, but also adding a singular AS-30L missile and a targeting pod for, a little trolling. It's a surprise mouseka tool that will help us later when the enemy lands on the airfield. Go gadget de Gaulle's penis. I must warn you, however, that the loadouts on this thing are kinda scuffed. You see, your primary laser bombs are gonna go on the centerline pylon. Sadly, that's also where your gun pod goes. The only gun that you could take on this thing. Which means that you must make the choice between more ground ordnance for the ground attacker role, or a gun. Originally, there was a joke here about how this will be fixed in the future when Gaijin adds the Mirage 2000D RMV variant, but this wouldn't be a meme guide without Gaijin absolutely fucking my ass without lube out of nowhere. So 2 hours after I finished writing the script for this video, the Chinese leaker dropped this absolute banger which told us that the 2000D RMV was, in fact, coming next update. This update, I guess, for the people watching this after it goes live. I swear to fucking God. Anyways, this is the Mirage 2000D RMV, which was data mined 1 lunch break after I finished writing the script for this video. And if you think this fucker pissed me off, wait until we get to the fucking Taiwanese Mirage, which was added on the second dev server with no prior warning or leak whatsoever after I had already redone the entire script to account for this new Mirage. Anyways, the Mirage 2000D RMV, where RMV stands for Rénovation Mi-Vie, or midlife upgrade, is, as the name implies, a midlife upgrade package from 2021. It's in the fucking name. Anyways, this package was intended to keep the Mirage 2000D fleet in active French service until at least 2030. Among the many upgrades it received, some of them include a new gun pod that doesn't take up the centerline pylon, a newer and more advanced targeting system so you could take pictures of the enemy's balls from further away, and a lot of new types of advanced and powerful ground ordnance, and most importantly, the MICA missiles, which were on the dev server and then removed because apparently this thing never used radar MICAs in real life, only IR ones, and we can't add these radar missiles to it temporarily until the IRs are balanced enough to add, so we just fucking removed them instead of finding a workaround, just like Grom 1s. But hey, we still need to give the US a plane that can sustain 12G turns at Mach 2 at high altitude, Come on, they only had the best top tier jet for the third year in a row now, it's fine. Anyways, so for air-to-air, the Mirage 2000 DRMV is practically identical to the DR1, with the only difference being that the RMV gets a HMD for its 2-hole missiles, and a radar bore sight. But besides that, it's the same old twin-seater Mirage 2000 with only 2 Magic 2s and a generous amount of 254 countermeasures to save your ass. And for being 1 BR step higher than the DR1 in air battles, you also get a set of funny new toys to play with. The PGM/3 series. The PGMs are literally just giant bombs with a rocket taped to the back, along with TV guidance to get them where you want them to. And these /3 variants are the most advanced and modernized model. Having an IR seeker with built-in thermals and incredible range and good zoom, you don't even need to bring a targeting pod anymore to rape the poor enemy planes that decide to land on the runway. You can also bring a whole bunch of these without sacrificing your gun pod or missile loadouts, a problem that the last Mirage 2000D suffered from, and if you are really mentally handicapped enough to play ground battles with French top tier, then this thing absolutely rapes enemy pantsiers, since the /3 series PGMs have the incredible seeker that can lock onto things from outside pantsier range. All in all, the Mirage 2000Ds are 2 brothers who live by the creed of the French Dorito, and are not the most competitive at air-to-air, but their ground ordnance absolutely punishes anyone who lets their guard down, and that is why I find them incredibly fun. Little Timmy dumped his 4 stupid fuckors on his event Tomcat and turned around to land. Oh boy, let's just say, this thing destroys enough low-tension span iPad babies that the Child Protective Services have to show up at my door every time I play it. And the only way that Gaijin can keep this thing in check is by nerfing the air-to-air missile loadout, because imagine if this thing also had its MICAs. All in all, the Mirage 2000Ds are not really meant to be played in air battles, and are some of, if not the best cast planes in ground battles at the respective BRs. But as usual, we play air battles on this channel, and I think we can apply the Home Depot display toilet strategy to these planes. Just because somebody told me that I shouldn't shit in the display toilet, just because somebody told me that these are not meant for air-to-air, doesn't mean that I'm not going to use them for air-to-air. After all, I paid for this whole bag of Doritos, and my brother in Christ, I'm going to eat the whole bag of Doritos. Wait, Donut, that's not a Mirage 2000! Yeah, shut up. It's the direct development of the Mirage 2000 and the bridge between it and the later Rafale. Also, this wouldn't fit in any other video, and I love this thing so much that I'm going to talk about it here and you can't stop me. So basically, before the Mirage 2000-5 was a thing, Dassault wanted to come up with this crazy caca monster superjet for France. Long story short, France wanted a new high-power fighter jet, and none other than your good old friend McDonnell's Douglas came in swooping, offering France the F-15A and B for export. France test flew the F-15 and went, damn, this thing kinda slaps. So, Dassault and their fragile French ego and national pride decided that they can make a better twin-engine heavy missile-carrying dogfighter than the US. So they set out, and using literally everything they have learned in designing planes so far, they made an overweight Mirage 2000 with canards. 2 Mirage 2000 engines, twice as many missiles as the Mirage 2000. The number in the name was twice as big, so obviously, this all meant that it was twice as good. Or something. Math wasn't always my strongest subject, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Anyways, Dassault then proceeded to show this plane around, and a few export customers even lined up to buy this thing. Sadly, the first of these potential customers just happened to have a big revolution, and now is no longer your friend. And the 2 other possible export customers got paid off by the Americans to buy their jet instead. Well, at least the French Air Force will still buy your new Mirage, right? No? Oh. France is kinda fucking broke and can barely afford to upgrade their current Mirage 2000s? Oh, great. That's lovely. Well, at least this gem lives on today as the funny troll circle rape fighter in that one plane game made by Gaijin Entertainment, Battle Lightning, or something. Anyways, this is the Mirage 4000 in-game, and it's quite the goofy goober. At 13.0, the same BR as a Gripen, Su-27, F-15A, it's in quite the predicament. It does not have as good or as many radar missiles as the Eagle or the Flanker, nor does it have the comical flight performance and the HMD of the Gripen. What it does have is a burning hatred for all those planes who stole the export orders from it, and more importantly, no plane exists to punish the retarded Tomcat players, especially those of the new event Tomcat variety, better than the Mirage 4000. They can't out-dogfight you. They can't flare your funny missile away. What they can do is cope and seethe and maul and chat after you prolapse their anus using the Matra R550 Magic 2 missile. I take back what I said. Maybe these French people seem alright, I guess. I mean, just look at this thing. I guess that one Disney movie with the rat was correct after all. The French can absolutely cook. The Mirage 4000 lives and dies by the one rule that makes a plane easy and fun to play. It's a jack of all trades, yet a master of none. The playstyle is so simple on paper, but so much complex in practice. To put it lightly, just stay low, evade radar missiles in the early game, and then dance on anything that gets within 5 kilometers of you. The extra countermeasures, great airframe, and nice avionics of the Mirage 4000 allow this plane to be even more aggressive than earlier Mirages, although losing the MAW system is definitely something to keep in mind when playing this thing. The advanced ground ordnance selection is also nice to have, albeit being held back by the shitty targeting pod this thing gets. But regardless of what it gets compared to its contemporaries, there is only one thing it does for sure: rape any plane it gets near with its large amount of insane close-range IRCCM missiles. These event Tomcats came to top tier thinking it's their salvation, and now it's up to the Mirage 4000 to show them that it's not a paradise. It's merely a place to die. Honestly, this is still one of my all-time favorite 13.0 planes to fly, especially for raping the Tomcat Horde
Say
after
all
they
the
went up.
shit you want. My Tomcat is still the most capable BVR platform at this BR range.
Dog, didn't your shit just move up in BR to 12.7?
So what if my BR got increased? I still have the fastest Fox 3s in game.
My brother in Christ, you have 60 flares, no all-aspect missiles, a dysfunctional excuse of an RWR, and a fucking joke of
I
energy
could take
retention.
any top-tier jet you throw at me, and I guarantee you, I would win.
Really?
Really.
Release the Dash 5.
At least the Dash 5.
For months, the players of top tier have seen a broken nation, abused, conquered by those we sought to escape. Months ago, I asked for a time which is now granted by the snail, where we strengthen our arms. The history of these days will be written in blood, by crushing the army of our enemy, by seizing the weapons they used against us. We were fighting for our very existence. We will unleash such terrible vengeance that generations yet unborn will cry out in anguish and agony. For generations they scarred us, they weakened us, but now that time has passed. For years we rebuilt our strength and our pride, and now the time has come. We have given them new insight to our cause. On this day, we stand united once more. On this day, those who stand to divide us will hear our voice. We will smite the invaders from the sky. We will never again endure their oppression, never again endure their tyranny. We will fight as one hand, one soul, and shatter their dreams, drenching our ancestors' graves with their blood. And as their last breath tears from their lungs, we will listen to their cope on Reddit, and we will savor it. Okay, now remember that cracked Mirage 2000C from earlier? Okay, now I'm sure you're asking yourself exactly what John the Salt was asking the guys at the Dorito factory. Hey guys, what happens if we not only doubled the amount of missiles that it gets, but we made those missiles 50G thrust vectoring active radar deleters? Oh, we also gave the plane a better radar, larger eclair countermeasure dispenser system for more flares, better avionics, and on top of all of that, we gave it laser weapons, those funny PGMs from earlier, and a great targeting pod to use them all with. The Salt went balls to the wall and then probably demolished the wall because of how big and heavy the Wrecking Ball testicles were. The Mirage 2000-5F is the peak of the Mirage 2000 family in War Thunder, and today stands as a testament of all the things that Gaijin cannot model right. PGMs, limited guidance modes, Magic 2s, artificially nerfed for years because it would have been too good otherwise, one of the most advanced countermeasure suites of its time. Gaijin can't model shit correctly, and they only just finished modeling the Spiral Chaff dispensers correctly after I fucking finished writing the script for this video the third time. Micas, they flat spin even more than R73s, and that's really impressive and absolutely not in a good way. In short, this plane is shackled and held to its hospice bed, and even with all of these restraints, it is still one of the single best top tier jets in the game right now, in my very humble opinion. God is dead, and a stray flat spinning Mika killed him. We can't leave him to do all the work anyways. After all, sending those Tomcats to their deathbed is my job. The annoying-ass event Tomcats went up in BR to 12.7 recently. Do you know what this means? At 13.7, the Mirage 2000-5F is one of, if not the single best tool for sending these fuckers back to the hangar. Let me put it this way, if you can't build a resume as a veterinary doctor after playing this thing, then you're not putting down enough cats. And just wait until we get the Taiwanese Mirage 2000 variant in the Chinese tree with even more Mikas. Wait, what do you mean they fucking added it? Dog, I just finished rewriting the script again for the fourth fucking time. Oh my... Hey guys, instead of euthanizing the cats, today we're going to eat them like the Eastern Asian delicacy that they are. This is the Taiwanese Mirage 2000-5EI in the Chinese tech tree. It is literally just a fucking Mirage 2000-5F but without any of the ground ordnance because Taiwan never bought that shit. And this thing exists solely just to fucking piss me off and make me rewrite the script of this video for, I don't know, I stopped counting after the fourth time. Anyways, 3 months ago, I joked that Gaijin is gonna add either the RMV or this thing, this update. because I was going to be finishing the Mirage video around then. What I did not expect was for them to add both of them at separate points of the dev server just to fucking catch me off guard. So yeah, for those wondering why this video is 2 weeks late, go thank Gaijin for this shit. I really gotta keep my fat mouth shut next time. Anyways, the Dash 5 EI in air-to-air is completely identical to the French Dash 5F currently, so I won't talk about it for much longer, since some sources say it should be able to carry 8 MICAs, which is 2 more than what the French one gets, but that's not in-game yet. And until that happens, I'm just gonna reiterate that both Mirage 2000-5s play in one of the funniest ways known to man. Great radar gimbals, 50G active radar begets that mean you don't even have to face the enemy. One of the funniest trolls that this thing does is to just fly in a cold notch perpendicular to the enemy and using the HMD ACM, throw MICAs at people in the stupidest angles known to man without even engaging them. The Tomcat's Pulse Doppler head-on radar is particularly susceptible to cold notches like this, meaning that while they are struggling to even get a radar lock on you, you have already thrown a 50G explosive fidget spinner at them. Of course, you still get the cracked Magic 2 for close range, and now made even more lethal by the addition of an HMD system for flinging them at comical angles when the enemy least expects it. And if you really want to be the absolute goofster of all time, you can also bring a singular PGM on the center line for that one guy trying to land on an airfield to blow him up harder than the Algerian economy. I must warn you, however, that the Mirage 2000-5F comes with its own special sets of quirks and disadvantages. The first one is that, just like the R-73, the MICA's thrust vectoring system is particularly prone to flat spinning. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Hello, who is this?
Pronto, Donat.
Wait, what?
Sbinella.
Yeah, the MICAs have a tendency to just throw themselves into a flat spin harder than a Tomcat player when you get on their tail. And at the end of the day, you're still a Delta Wing, so in extended dogfights against things like the J-10, F-15, F-16, and especially the fucking Gripen, you'll just get raped when you run out of energy. Also, your missile approach warning system likes to give off false warnings, especially when the people around you are flaring. Yes, friendly flares will trigger the missile approach warning for some fucking reason. So expect tinnitus of the maw sound effect on loop after playing this thing for a month like I did. I can hear the missile warning system in my dreams. Gaijin, please send help immediately. But that, I guess, doesn't matter, because no matter how hard your ordnance or avionics are nerfed, or how good the enemy planes will get, this thing will still show the enemy team what it feels like to get their guts rearranged by a 50G active radar beget without lube. I call this move la orgasme de la prostate. Alright, let's spade your Doritos now, starting with the Mirage 2000D because it's the simplest. Get the MAW system and then the gun pod, followed by the G-suit, the new boosters, and then get wings repair, cover, and offensive 30mm, before moving on to rank 4, where you will get the engine, EFS, and go back and work on whatever you want. You may have noticed that there is no missile upgrades on this thing, and that's because you get your only 2 air-to-air missiles completely stock for free without any modifications. Thank you very much, Gaijin. Anyways, for the 2000D RMV, since they removed the fucking MICAs because France can't have anything good, you once again get all your air-to-air missiles for free without a modification, so start with MAW and gun pod once again, then the G-suit, then work your way down to the MAWCLs and the other GBUs straight to the PGMs, while also getting necessary performance upgrades to progress. I advise you to do this so you can troll people on the airfield with the PGMs, because trust me, it's a very fun thing to do. After that, I guess get the rank 4 performance modifications and just go back and work on whatever you want after that. Next up, the Mirage 2000C. Both the CS4 and the CS5 have identical modification trees. The only difference is that Flare Chaff modification on the CS4 was changed to also unlock the Maw on the CS5. So start with that modification on both planes, followed by the Jisoo and the new boosters. Then get the Mantra 530D, offensive 30mm, new 30mm guns, and wings repair just to unlock the next rank, where you will get the Magic 2, engine, EFS, and then go back and work on whatever you want. For the Mirage 4000, start with Flare Chaff and then the Jisoo and the Magic 2. At rank 3, get the Super 530F, the wings repair, then go back and get the better ammo and guns just to unlock rank 4, where you'll get the Super 530D, engine, EFS, and then go back and work on whatever you want. Finally, for the Mirage 2000-5s, for the 5F, get the Maw system, and then the Jisoo at rank 2, before going to rank 1 to get the Mantra 530F, followed by the 530D. Now, get wings repair, the gun pod, and bombs, so that you can unlock the last rank. At the last rank, you're going to want to get the Magics, and then the Micas, and then the engine upgrade, so that you could go back and work on whatever you want after that. The Taiwanese Mirage 2000-5 EI has a simplified version of the 5F's modification tree. Due to the lack of really any of the earlier missiles or any sort of ground ordnance, the tree for this one is actually much shorter and simpler. Once again, start with the Maw, then get the Jisoo and the Magic 2, which is a rank 2 modification instead of rank 4 for some fucking reason on this thing. And then get Wings Repair, the only modification in rank 3, before going back to get the MICA-EMs and the rest of your performance modifications. I do find it funny that there was so many rank 3 modifications for most of the previous Mirages that we needed to get a useless filler modification, such as bombs, just to unlock the next rank. Meanwhile, the Taiwanese one literally has a singular modification at that tier, so that problem doesn't exist anymore. Anyways, there you go. That is the Delta Doritos spaded and ready to rumble now. And there you have it. That's the Mirage 2000 family, and the 4000 also, I guess, as of the Firebirds update. In the first 3 iterations of the script for this video, and in the original video of the Mirage 2000s from last year, I had a joke here about how I cannot wait until Gaijin adds the Taiwanese Mirage just to make the video outdated. But circle jerk aside, Gaijin out-jerked me and just fucking added it in the middle of the production for this video. So now I will hop on the hopium train for any of the Arab Mirage 2000s being added as a premium in the future. And until that happens, please don't forget to subscribe to me if you enjoyed the video. It really does mean a lot to me. But as always, go out there, don't crash on takeoff, and go teach those pesky event tomcats what the Pythagorean theorem is with your comically cracked up triangle. See ya next time.
Riding up until the day I meet you, I'm riding up. I look up in the skies, asking out a while, but never let it faze me. I'm keeping good vibes when I'm on the road. Watch out for all surprises. What it provides is good and bad, but nothing entices.
Another one day in the night, let me paint the view, color down with my light. For every moment share with you, not in the day, and never fully gone. Going to be back again until they're coming over down.
For the days ahead of us, put your hands up, wave it side to side for good luck. For the nights like this, put your hands up, love the moment even from dusk. Yo, you always got my back, and of course I got your back. Don't you worry.